The Accidental Station by Musumba. I switch it on, my transistor radio. I begin the frequency search and modulation of the receiver. Why are there so many stations along the way, so many designated numbers perhaps deemed enough to outlast the full stretch of whichever road we take? I hear but such as, with no purpose of listening. I keep switching from one station to another. It is so difficult to decide on which is which. It is far easier to go with a touch and go, as of a new school DJ. For a start, there are those ones with completely nothing to say. I consider the wrong ones as the ones that just keep playing and playing, an omnibus of all music, just for the sake of it, or for the sake of growing their captive listening market. For me, they are all wrong. Oops, the bus swerves. It almost leaps up and above the restraining curb, but just as soon, it returns back on the road. And the journey continues uninterrupted. As such, I keep the frequency search, transiting and modulating, to the next one. The other ones that I also consider, sheesh, are those stations that always claim that if you correctly answer their arbitrary recurring question, they'll splash you with some cash. Their arbitrary answers to their arbitrary questions are always designated wrong. The answers are kept purposely and continuously wrong, just for the sake of growing the money at stake, and of growing the listening target market of the receiver.
Bright fit destino las. Baby, unajua ninavyokupenda, baby.
Hello.
And then next comes the stations that keep calling and calling, arbitrary spouses, for an arbitrary update of their arbitrary relationships.
Hello.
Nikikuona roho yangu mimi natulia, nikitembea na wewe nasikia furaha moyoni.
There, someone is overheard saying, "If you dare touch me, you will go." It is no surprise then, that the answers there are just downright wrong. And so, it's definitely a touch and go, for those calling and calling stations. As such, the frequency search transitions from one station and then to another. Always, the one before is wrong. What do you think are the survival chances of the next one? This is what I was up to on a daily basis as I rode in the commuter bus. And then, just as there were listening options for my listening, I arrived at a station completely by accident. As usual, I was due to switch to the next and next, when our bus got smack involved in an accident. Which is why I call it the accidental station. The radio station was all poised, with a lot to say. when the continuity presenter interrupted the normal programming in order to relay some breaking news. The news was of a grisly accident involving a bus with the self-same name and self-same number plate as ours, and at the self-same spot where we were. It was a designated black spot, so they said. And they also went on to say that there is the arbitrary question as to whether anyone could have survived. All along, I was still on my headphones, listening to this accidental station. Listening to the accidental reporting of the station on the breaking news of the arbitrary grisly accident, and of which there was no chance of survivors. And just then, a back and forth. Where is south? Where is north? Why is the center slipping from my grasp? Question. Am I already listening from that other side of life? I am now stuck, taking stock at what is at stake. Stuck at just that one accidental station. Listening and listening. Or perhaps, just loosening and loosening my impulse of always seeking to switch to the very next station, of which, in this particular case, might it end up being on that other side of life? I am hovering as if, through a phantom fountain of lights. The front lights of each and everything have come adrift. They appear to be moving on their own. Some are rising like giant fireflies, some like parachutes, are falling from anonymous heights. The ones passing are replaced, in a crisscrossing and rapid flight of lights after lights. There is a brief replay of the arbitrary recurring questions of life, but there is no time here now for the niceties of a reply. All the questions seem to be now finished with their purpose. They are saying, just give us a break. The same rules apply to the breaking news, where the very question of survivors has already been ditched into the pitch blindness of doubt. And as of that breaking news, it is repeated and repeated without a break, confirming that the bus is a total wreck. And then, I emerge listening to the resurgence of a calling and calling.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Then again, as I listen, I begin to hear the latest version of the grisly accident being reported as follows.
Forgive me for interrupting the regular programming of your life by this breaking news. You have arrived at an accidental station, where the chances of finding survivors is itself deemed accidental. This grisly fortunate accident has just happened at the exact same black spot of wherever you are listening. And as for today's mega fortune question, you have a chance of winning some more money by participating in and just answering this, our ever-recurring question.
At that very point I just knew, that I have been found alive by sheer accident, and right before the touch and go, onto the next station. Like never before, I scramble out of the wreckage of the bus, and unplug the headphones from the transistor radio. Where I am, it feels like I jumped from one moving bus to another. But here, they are constantly listening for an update. Perhaps, there's doubt as to the beating of my pulse. In my now solemn listening, I can hear an insistent calling, and calling, reporting at random intervals.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Perhaps, all this that is happening, was intentionally accidental. So that the consequences be for me to arrive and arrive. Until I am now here, where hello, is the universal dialect of an accident. It is the way conversation here is spoken, by speaking by a token, or by other than speech. And so I just listen, as they again say,
hello. Hello. Hello.
Maybe my whole body is now their transistor radio, with so many arbitrary stations, and all of which are now newly exposed to them, all of which they can now freely access. And each station has something urgent to tell them. As for them, don't ask me who they are. All I know, they are the crew, whose whole career, equipment and gear, are all for the special purpose of listening and listening. And they are now here, listening with every conceivable means at their disposal. A listening that now concentrates on my heart, the heart and its accessory parts.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
The heart. And which is exactly the part my headphones were perhaps meant to be listening to, right from the very start.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
And so, they are here, to decode a decade of donning headphones, without ever having listened to my very own heart. A decade of switching from station to station, without yielding to listening. A decade of a listening that has almost decayed. In my medical history, there is no sign of an accident, but somehow somewhere, there was once a language of signs. Which by the way, is the universal mother tongue. And so, we have all been brought up with a vocabulary of signs, including the sign of an accidental station, where it suffices to just listen, as they once again say,
hello. Hello. Hello.
And just then, I opened my eyes only to find, ever since the last radio station I stopped at by accident, I have all along been dreaming. And the bus has already gone, way past my intended destination.
Hello. 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 Hello.
Hey there!